It's Troy.
Hey, Troy, it's Zach Martin. How you doing?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. I don't know if we ever ran into each other. I used to work at Q1043. I think you guys were over there helping out when Scott Meany was sick. I had you guys fill in. I don't know.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I can't. You know what? That's like 15 years ago, so who knows?
Yeah. That my memory does not serve me well, but I'm sure it's all there.
Yeah, well, listen, mine's not. 5 minutes ago, I have no idea what I was doing yet.
Yeah. Well, here we are.
All right, you ready? This is pretty easy. I do what we call Rock Bio, where you tell us a little bit about growing up and what you do, and we'll talk about the new project with Tesla and the album Shocked, which is great. I've been playing it on KKDJ and on the network and all of that stuff. I really like it a lot. I'm a big Tesla fan. My wife sort of gives me a hard time about it. I don't know why. She's like, yeah, you're a Tesla fan. But that's just the way it goes,
That is the way it goes.
I think if we ever get divorced, I get all of Tesla. That's a good thing. Just not going to argue with that. All
right. That's one thing you can look forward to in the settlement. Let's just pray it never happens.
Hey, while we're talking about that, Troy, we're speaking to Troy Luccketta of Tesla. He plays the drums. Great drummer.
Thank you.
I just want this Bezos guy, and he just got this divorce, and his future ex-wife, is going to make billions of dollars, right? Have you paid attention to this?
No. What is this? Say that again?
Bezos, the guy who owns Amazon. He's going through...
I just saw something on that, yeah.
All right. This is what gets me, all right? I see the picture of his wife, an attractive woman, and he's going to have to give her billions of dollars in the settlement. I got some other guys in the studio. This is a picture of the wife, okay? This is the picture of the girl. You can't see it, Troy, but that's okay. This is the picture of the girl he cheated on that got him in trouble. She looks like the wife. The eyebrows are the only difference. So if you're gonna do something that's gonna cost you billions of dollars, go out of the brunette that looks like my wife thing. Go try to find something more exotic than that, right? Am I right about that? Somebody should give him a psychological evaluation. That's crazy.
I have not seen the pictures, and I'm sure you're probably right, and I have no clue as to why or even can begin to understand or relate to that.
Yeah, well, let me just say, if you ever are in that position, don't do it because it's going to cost you billions of dollars. First of
all, I don't have billions of dollars, so it ain't going to cost me billions of dollars, but I can tell you this, I love my wife, and it ain't going to happen.
Well, that's good. Is she in the room with you right now?
No, she is.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah, all right. We're proponents of the guy code here,
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so we're all good with that.
Done that. Now, let me just preface, I was married for 20 years,
uh-huh.
and quite honestly, I made the mistake of stepping out of my marriage.
Okay.
And it did end up costing us the divorce in the long run.
Yeah.
And I could say it's probably the world's greatest regret that I have to this day. Never meant to hurt her, never meant any of that to happen. It was, before I got sober and things happen. I'm 25 years sober, so anyway.
Congratulations.
Anyway, it is what it is. So,
all right.
Not proud of that, not at all.
Well, you know what, Troy? That's good that you mention it because there's a lot of people who probably have gone through the same thing, and now they're going to relate to you even better. They'll be bigger Tesla fans as a result. See, that's a relatable thing. Seriously, that's a relatable thing. It makes you more human. It makes you bigger than the drummer that you are. This is who you are, Troy, not what you do, which is a bigger thing to share with people, right?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the drums, that's just what I do. And you're right, I like that. I'm here to just share my experience, strength, and hope with anybody. I've been there, done it pretty much all wrong. And if you go to TroyShowsUp.com, which you probably know nothing about, TroyShowsUp, TroyShowsUp.com, I will let you know how I'm a good example of a bad example. And that's the story, and I'm sharing it in high schools now.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, you can pull it up, take a look at it.
Yeah, I'm going to do that as soon as I get the chance. And you know what I'll do is if there's contact information, how to contact you, I'll send you a nice email, and maybe we'll do something with that down the road.
Well, you got my number. You can call me.
Oh, okay. All right. That's great. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So why don't you give us a little bit of your rock and roll biography and how you ended up in Tesla, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay. I mean, it goes way back. So 10 years old, I'm a kid. I want to play drums. I discover the drums, and I get talking about drug addiction. I just got an addictive personality. So I couldn't have one paper route. I couldn't have two paper routes. But I got me a third paper route, and I bought a set of drums, and I started playing. I started on this little quest. Didn't do so well in high school, part of my story, in any school, period, as part of growing up. Went through the whole people pleasing thing, got into some trouble. Found my drums when I got off of probation when I was 15 years old for riding in a stolen car with my buddies, which was not the best thing to do. And I did not steal the car, but I got in it. So at any rate, fast forward, I'm fighting my way. I'm playing some drums, and the next thing I know, man, good things are starting to happen. I'm getting in some bands. I'm playing some music. I got a chance to make my first record when I was a little over 20, my early 20s, with Eric Martin, singer from Mr. Big. I got Herbie Herbert managed Journey. He managed us. We got a tour with Journey. So I was kind of getting a taste of it. I was playing a lot. I made my first record, getting some exposure. The Tesla thing, this guy calls me up, Eric Martin band breaks up. 25 years old. This guy, Dwayne Hitchens, he's over Eddie Money's house. He calls me up, wants to play me a demo, comes to my house, plays me a demo. I hear Jeff's voice. I'm like, I like this. I want to go check this out. So I go check them out, fall in love with the band, and I thought the only thing that band needs is me. And once I'm in that band, we're going to do exactly what we're doing as I am right now. That's something I believed from the day I joined them, and I say that all in confidence I just had the faith, and I knew it was going to happen because I knew what was going on in the industry. And we worked hard, and we got it, and we're still working hard,
Well, that's the key. You got to keep at it. Now, I remember the first time I heard Tesla, I was driving on the Belt Parkway in New York City. I was a young disc jockey, and I was doing top 40 radio, so we didn't play Tesla. We played all the crap, Madonna out your earlobes and stuff like that. So I put on this rock station, and I hear, we get a track from the great radio controversy. It's Tesla. Heaven's Trail No Way Out on, I think it was 107.1. This station out of Long Branch, New Jersey. I'm like, oh my God, this is a great song. And then I went and bought the album, and then next thing you know, I'm 98 Rock in Baltimore. And then you guys had a follow-up album, and I played What You Give. I love that song. So along the way, I became this Tesla fan to the point where, and I don't do this for every group, if Tesla is in town or if it's in driving, if you are in driving distance, I'll actually go. And anybody that knows me knows I hate schlepping for anything. But yeah, I mean, so I'm kind of like one of your more interesting Tesla fans. I've seen you live a few times, and when you were in New York, many years ago, and Scott Muni was not feeling well, I was looking, all right, let me get these guys to fill in for Scott. Brought you over, and the Q1043, the classic rock station in New York, they didn't really play any Tesla until I got there, and I made sure that we played it. So you guys are really a great band. I'm very excited about your new project. Shocked. You took a bit of I guess, maybe a hiatus in making new albums. What was going on between this album and the previous?
Well, I mean, we were still keeping music alive. We were a bit of, it's not like there's a high demand for a Tesla record, you know what I'm saying? But it's kind of like, with the change of the industry and where things were at. But we didn't want to be a band that just was completely nostalgic in the sense of not putting out new music. So we'd always put some records out every few years or 4 years or whatever it would be. And then, and then by the time we got out with Leopard in 15, 16, and 17, Phil had approached us to, Phil Collins from Def Leppard produced this record. So
yes.
I'm sure you know that. But so anyway, he approached us and he had a song he wanted us to record that he produced. And we did it. It came out on a live Tesla mechanical record that we did. I forget, what do we call it? Whatever.
Yeah.
a couple few years ago. And there had a bonus track. It was Save That Goodness, a song that he wrote. And then next thing I know, we're on the phone doing with him and talking to him about doing a whole record. And we just gave him carte blanche and said, yeah, okay, cool, man, we're in, let's do it. And make the record you want to make, and let's do it. And that's what you got. And really, I attribute that record to Phil Collins. I mean, he co-wrote pretty much every song. He's part of the whole of it. And it was a good fit, you know. Yeah, there's some leopardish overtones. That's what you get with Phil, but that's cool.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But, you know, it is a great record, a lot of great songs, good production.
I've also felt this way for many years. Tesla is a great live band, and your live albums. Let's just go back. One of my favorites, I played the heck out of this one, the 5-man acoustical jam, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a great album, where you covered the 5-man electrical band. And the sign said, long-haired, freaky people need not apply. As soon as I heard that, I'm like, this is fantastic. My younger brother's like, man, Tesla, they wrote that song. I'm like, you idiot. That's from the 5-man electrical band. But you did it you did it so well that everybody thought it was a Tesla original.
Well, you know, sometimes you have a cover that becomes yours. And that is one of those songs that became ours, you know. God knows we know where it came from. We wish we wrote it. It's not ours. But for the fans that don't know, it was ours, if that makes sense. So not claiming any ownership in that. Les Emerson, who wrote the song, he's Canadian. The band was Canadian. So, yeah, it was something that Jeff really loved. And when we were out doing these acoustic shows, we threw that in. And that whole thing was a big accident that just exploded, you know.
Yeah, that was a great moment in Tesla time, that's for sure. Oh, you know what?
30 years next year.
Really?
For that record.
Oh, my gosh.
We may do a whole tour of it, yeah.
Oh, wow. I can't believe it's been 30 years. Oh, boy. All right.
Record, yeah.
Hey, listen, it wasn't too long ago where my baby girl was just a baby. Now she's going to turn 19. So, Tempest Fugit, right?
Before you know it, you got grandchildren.
Well, you know, from your lips to God's ears, I'm just waiting for whatever happens next. You know, just patiently wait, like everything else.
There you go.
You know, when you guys would tour, and I've always really thought about this a lot. When I would go to see my favorite band, Tesla, one of them, and when I was a younger kid, let's say my first concert was 79, and I saw Blue Oyster Cult opening up for Black Sabbath with Ronnie James Dio and lead vocals. And it was at Madison Square Garden. And I was convinced that our crowd was the best crowd of any crowd that went to go see Blue Oyster Cult and Black Sabbath. And I always wondered, when you're up on stage, when you think about, and you can go back any point in time, and it could be like last year, it could be 10 years ago, 5 years ago. Did you ever play a show that you thought, wow, man, this is the greatest crowd? What a great city. Where would that be? Who would that be?
I could have said it was last night in Houston.
Last night in Houston. See, there you go.
I mean, I'm just saying. Every night, our fans sing and have a great time, and there's such a great connection between what we do with them and what they do with us. You know, there's been so many amazing moments. Is my point. You just don't, you know, I don't have one that just stands out. You know, but. It's pretty darn exciting, I got to tell you.
I got to tell you something. I saw you guys one time in Hampton Roads, Virginia Beach area. You played at the Scope. And it didn't seem like there were a lot of people that showed up. I think there was a weather issue. But, man, that was one of the best concerts I've ever seen because I got general admission ticket. I mean, we're talking almost 30 years ago. And I got a general admission ticket. I was right up there by the stage. I felt like I was part of the band. You guys rocked. I mean, what I like about Tesla, it doesn't matter the size of the audience. You guys put it all out there, and you put on one hell of a flippin' show.
You know, thank you. I think you're really going to enjoy the show, man. I think the show that we're having right now is one of our better shows in the sense that, you know, with the new, old, it's all in there. And, you know, plus we've got, you know, some light production, you know, the show looks good, the band looks good, but we're giving it up, man. I mean, I'm excited about what's happening right now. It's very cool.
Well, if the drummer's excited about what's going on, then everybody else will be excited about what's going on because the drummer, if you were to compare drumming to baseball, you're like the catcher. The catcher is calling the game. You're like the quarterback there on the gridiron. You're the centerpiece of everything that's happening in the band. Everybody sees you. Now, I've always felt bad for drummers in this aspect. You guys are playing a couple hours on stage, right? Everybody's like jamming, shredding guitars, playing the bass. They all take a break, and what happens? The big drum solo. So I'm thinking to myself, oh, boy, this guy behind the drums must be some sort of animal like in the Muppets where he just has so much energy. Boom, 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 boom. And he does these gigantic drum solos. You got Tommy Lee from Motley Crue going upside down, 360, all over the place. Do you ever, as a drummer, just want to get up in the middle of the thing going, you know what, guys, why don't you do a little bit of a talk and play a little jam on your lead guitar here? The drummer needs to take a break. I'm going to go back and get an orange juice or something like that.
Well, I mean, there's slower songs in our show, like Love Song, where I do get a break. And because we are a dynamic band, I think of a band that I just saw that frickin' blew me away, which was Metallica.
Oh, God, they're great in concert. Yeah.
Well, their show that's out right now is phenomenal. And Lars, my God, he does not get a break. I mean, man, I felt for that guy. I watched him play all night, and I just could not believe that he could endure that show. And he has to do that, I don't know how many, 3-4 nights a week. And from the opening track to the closing track, man, the guy does not get a break.
Yeah.
And he's so freaking badass, man. I just have so much respect for that man. So, he would be that guy you want to ask that question to.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. So then you're the type of drummer who really knows how to make the most out of the brushes, right?
I play, if you want to talk about brushes, I played on Doris Day's last record. It's called My Heart. I'm on it playing brushes.
Oh,
so there you go.
That's great. See? Yeah. There's something you find out that we didn't expect to hear about. We never talk brushes with drummers. It's always like, so I think that this is a good moment for your career right now, talking about the brushes and being on a Doris Day song.
I'm a very dynamic, fairly educated player in the sense that I have enough information to get me in trouble.
Yeah.
And some of that trouble, the late Keith Emerson.
Oh, wow.
I did the last record recording with Keith back in 2011, I think it was. We went to Germany and recorded this record called Three Fates, and we recorded all the old EOP stuff with a 70-piece orchestra.
Oh, man, that's phenomenal. I'm sorry about Keith, man. I know.
Oh my God, yeah, he was a perfect gentleman. But at any rate, man, I was so blessed to be a part of that, and it was in my eyes. It was a heavy undertaking, to walk into that situation. That's why I trusted my faith, and the good Lord brought me through it. And I just, I did it. And, based on that, and it worked. And it just gave me so much peace as a drummer and get to experience that, because it's not something everybody gets to experience.
Yeah, that's really cool. No, you're right about that. I mean, we all, when we all think about ourselves, whether it's a drummer or a guitar player or a lead singer of a band or a disc jockey like myself, we get to experience things that most people don't. And I think that it's very important when you're in that moment to fully appreciate it. And I just wish, if I was to talk to the younger me, and you're probably the same as I am, I would have said to myself, slow down, man. Have a little bit more fun. Don't be so serious all the time. Eat some Cheerios, man.
I was that guy. I'm so glad you mentioned that. And I'm not that guy. I'm a fun guy today. I have a lot of fun, and I don't take myself serious. I can make jokes about myself. Like I said, I'm a good example of a bad example, man. That's just me. That's who I was growing up, but I turned all that energy around. I got rid of all that seriousness, and through all my life experiences, and, you gain, wisdom. And with that wisdom, you can come out and have some fun.
That's good. That's good. This is a completely different interview than I even expect. Well, I came in with no expectations, but I'm learning so much because, it goes back to, I really, really enjoy Tesla. I don't, and you know what? If you go, why? I go, I don't know. There's some songs that I could sing along to, and that's why. And then there's certain songs that, where you signs. I mean, just the way there's something about that band. There's a connection. But now it's even better because I get a new understanding about this guy who's been behind the drum kit all of those years. Now, would you consider yourself a drummer or a percussionist?
I would consider myself both. There's certainly the percussionist, that stretches a large span, which you could get into timpani, mallets, which is not something I do, but I did take classical piano for a year. And I actually there's a guy named Tom Hurst back in the Nashville area that I'm going to be getting with when I can find the time to get into more of the mallet thing, marimba and such. But that's all part of the percussive line,
Yeah, that's cool. What are some of your favorite artists to listen to? What's in your, I used to say record collection, but nobody really has them anymore. And if they do, it's quite a pain in the butt just to find the records and that kind of stuff. I
think, the best thing for me to do is probably just say everything from Neil Diamond to Metallica and everything in between.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's really who I am as a listener, player. I like pretty much everything, and when it comes to drumming, I happen to love the percussive side of it, Latin music and getting into that side. Yeah, I love all that stuff. I love some swing jazz and, so, it is about the music,
That's cool. I got a group that I found. It's called Blackpink. Trust me on that. Look them up, watch some of the videos, and you go, you know what? He's right about that. I like these guys. I'm not going to say anything else. Just look up Blackpink when you get the chance. One more time before we go. What is the site, your own site, so that people can check out what you're up to? TroyShowsUp.com. TroyShowsUp.com. I like that. Troy Shows Up. TroyShowsUp.com. That's great.
And the reason for that is my whole philosophy in life is just showing up. So all my successes and things are just because I say yes, even when I'm not sure, and I experience and walk through the fear, and it turns out okay, 9 times out of 10. And, if I fail, that's okay. I can still show up and learn something through the failure. So Troy Shows Up. It's just what it kind of turned into.
All right. I like it a lot. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to get my social media team to start pushing TroyShowsUp.com. I like that. It's just great.
Yeah. Thank you. And there's a Facebook page for it as well.
All right, cool. We'll check you out on Facebook. You can always follow us at ZachMartinRocks.com. We got all kinds of great goodies for people to check out, videos. We have Twitter at ZachMartinRocks. You can follow us at Facebook.com/BigFatAmerican. It's the Big Fat American show. So, and it's funny, Troy, ever since I decided to come out with this whole Big Fat American concept, I've lost 50 pounds. Go figure.
Well, I've got one more for you if you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
A song for wellness.org. ASONG, the number 4, wellness.org is another way to do that and stay healthy. And disease cannot survive in an alkaline body, and that's what that website is all about. It's all about awareness.
Oh, so do you have some supplements and stuff that you sell on that site?
No, I don't sell anything. I just give away free information, and it's just awareness and trying to share with people that are stage 4 and have no place to go. That you can beat it through wellness, and if you have the right information. And we have provided that information for a lot of people. And I have a friend of mine, pancreatic cancer, 6-7 year survivor now.
Wow.
I've got a gal I'm working with right now. She's been written off for 6 months, and praying for her. We're giving her the information. That's all we do. We just all we could do is make people aware of the choices that they're making. What do they put in their mouth? All the pesticides, the problems, the medical, all the stuff that is part of the problem that is contributing to disease. And you have to become aware of what it is and get knowledge, to beat it. But it can be beaten. So it's up to the individual to seek the knowledge.
What I like about you, Troy, is you live within your integrity, right? You live with the
I
integrity?
do.
Yeah.
I do. I do. But I also say, with all of that information being said, I don't do anything perfectly, but I try. At my home, we don't bring anything in our house processed, period. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's organic, and that's one way to start. You got to clear the cupboard, no processed sugars, get rid of all that crap, all that splendid, all that stuff that's killing everybody. You're just going to have to get right down real about it, and matter of fact, this is the first time I've really ever attacked somebody. Even split. I've never done that on air or anything. But my point is, you gotta have the information and know what the problem is in this society, in this world, and what's going on. And just due diligence, because the information's out there.
I agree with you, because ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance will get you killed. So we're on the same wavelength as that.
I love that. That's one of the chapters that I'm writing about, and ignorance is not an option.
I like that. And you know what? We could sum it all up. And you know what we're going to do, Troy? I think what we can do is put together a series of health and wellness podcast. We could do that. And
let's do it, man.
Yeah, let's definitely do that. I'm just going to wrap this up, and you're living it. It's a Tessa song. It's not what you got. It's what you give.
Amen.